Hi everyone, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. Today we're working on the e60 535D. Now this one has got some gearbox issues where the transmission feels like it's slipping between gear 4 and 5. It's been progressively getting worse over the last sort of year or so, I'd say. Gear change is getting a little bit notchy. And it's finally started bringing on the transmission warning light now, and the fault code, which I'll put up on the screen, comes up to do an erratic gear change between 4th and 5th, but it also just doesn't change quite as smoothly as it used to. So what I'm going to attempt to do before removing the gearbox and sending it away for a rebuild, I'm going to actually remove the sump pan on it. Now I have changed the gear oil in this probably twice in the last 40,000 miles, so it's had regular oil changes, regular filter change on the gearbox. It's a 6-speed ZF box, a 6HP. I'm going to remove the sump and drop the mechatronics unit out of it, and actually change all the solenoids. There's a seal at the top, bridge seal, which goes between the mechatronics unit and the actual gearbox. I'm going to change that seal, that's prone to cracking, and there's 3 tubes in there. We're going to do those as well, do all the solenoids and hope for the best. If that doesn't work, then the gearbox will have to go away and be built, but I'm going to replace everything I can without actually removing the box, and then go from there. So I will make a little video, hopefully help some of you if you have to do the same thing. So first of all, we're using T40 Torx and just going around all the bolts on the outside here. I've taken a few of them out already. T40 Torx, undoing all of those just to get the pan down and see what we've got inside. Okay, so we've got the sump off the gearbox. This got built-in filter here. Now this has been changed a couple of times in the past, so there wasn't any leaks or anything, but they can be prone to leaking these. The sump actually distorts, so you're better off changing the whole lot rather than just changing the gasket there. Now you've got 2 magnets here. My one has actually got a little bit of breakdown swarf on it, which, considering it has been changed in its life a couple of times by me, then that's not a great sign. So I'm still going to go ahead and do it anyway, see how we get on. Hopefully I'll have a result, but we shall see. Can only try. The car's done 140,000 miles, so you'd expect to see something in there. But yeah, so let's carry on. Underneath here we've got the valve body, or mechatronics unit, whatever you want to call it. Now what I'm going to do is change all of the solenoids. So there's 7 of those. I'm going to change all of those, just because I've got no way really of telling which ones are playing up, if any. So I just decided to just do them all, see what happens. So to do that, we're going to have to drop this unit out. Now I believe some of these bolts are bigger than the other ones, and they're the ones we've got to undo. Yeah, you can just see. I'm not sure if you can make that out on camera, but the head of that bolt and that bolt is bigger, it's squared, it's not as rounded off as that. So I believe all of these bigger ones are the ones we've got to undo. We've also got to pull this out because we've got the wiring up the top here, very difficult to see. Now I think I'm probably going to just about be able to undo that plug up there with a screwdriver if I poke it up and get to it. See if I can get some light in there so you guys can see. It's very difficult, but it's up there, the main plug, the main wiring harness for the gearbox. So I'm going to try and unplug that, and I believe we've got to release this so it lets that plug come off, it will come away from the gearbox, and then drop it out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Okay, just in case you're wondering which bolts you've got to undo, you've got 7 T40s, so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do all of them. You can see now this is starting to come loose. So I'm going to deal with that plug now before I go any further. But just so you know, you don't have to take all of these bolts out. Don't undo them all because you'll split the unit and you don't want to do that. So that's 7 in total. Okay, don't forget you've got 2 at the back here. So really you've got 9 bolts. So these 2 here need to come out as well. Okay, so here's the mechatronics unit out. Wasn't too bad to get out, in fairness. There was actually there's 3 bolts on the back here. I think I said 2, but there was actually 3 in the end. The toughest bit really was this sleeve. Now this sleeve pushes through the gearbox and into there. It's a reasonably tight fit, so when you're removing it, it just comes straight out. You don't have to turn it or anything like that. You won't be able to turn it because it's got a location on it, and that locates obviously in this plug here. So yeah, not the end of the world to get out. So what we're going to be doing, I'm going to change all the solenoids in this unit. So I'll have to unbolt this. It looks like it's bolted in from the other side. You can just see the head of the bolts there. You can definitely see 3 of those. So we'll be turning that over to get those out. And then we'll be changing these solenoids. These are the shift solenoids. So I'm going to be changing all of them because I don't really know which ones are faulty, if any. So the safest option is just to change them all. You can buy them in a kit, so we'll do all of those. I'll have to take out these T30s all the way along here, pull them all out, and replace them with new bits. Now at the top of between the mechatronics and the actual gearbox, we've got this seal. This is prone to splitting. I've seen some pictures of these actually completely split in half. My one isn't split, but if you look at the seal, if you can just about make it out there, it's actually the shape's not square anymore. So I'm wondering whether it's been bypassing down the sides. That's a possibility. But yeah, it's definitely not as square as it should be. So whether that's still sealing correctly and doing its job, I don't know. You can see it's the same on that side. I think probably oil could escape down the inside of that. It's not sealing very well. So we'll be replacing that. We'll be replacing this because this also has seals on it because they can leak there. So I don't think it's a particularly common place to leak, but being that we've got it removed, we'll replace that. Now you do have to make sure that this is lined up when you put it back together, because that's where your shift lever hooks into, and that obviously moves this up and down, tells it what gear it's in. I did have to strip a little bit more off on the car, I'll show you. So my one is e60 5 Series 2005, it's 535D. I had to take this exhaust box off in the end, and I dropped the sort of gearbox mounting down as well, just to give me a little bit more clearance, because honestly I did manage to get it out, and I managed to get the sleeve out, but I don't think I'll ever get it back in. You know, there's your hole up there, and even when I got the sleeve sort of pulled back, I couldn't actually drop it out. There was no gap big enough, and I think probably even if I did get it out, I'm not sure how I'd get the new one back in and be comfortable that it's in correctly. So It wasn't too much of a problem. I just took the front section of exhaust off the first box, took that off, dropped this down, and yeah, I've got a lot better access now. This is what you're looking at up here. Everything seems reasonably clean in there, which is good. Now these sleeves here, or tubes, whatever you want to call them, these come in different lengths. So I'm going to leave those fitted for the moment until I get the new parts, and we can pull those out and slot new ones in. So I'm going to change all of those as well. Doesn't seem to be a great deal wrong with them, but we're here, so let's do everything we can. Okay, so I've got the electronic side off now. So there's a few more bolts of it. I thought it would probably separate here, but it doesn't. So you need to take this part with it. So you've got another bolt that runs through there, goes to there. One runs through there to there, and one that goes into the speed sensor here. And then once you do that, you sort of gently prise it away, and you're left with the solenoids, and then you've got access then to get into those. So they're T27s, I think they are. Lots of those, and then one by one I can change solenoids. Okay, so new solenoids all fitted. So they're obviously colour coded, so these are the old ones. I've got yellow and green. It might have been blue before, but the new ones are blue now. So whether they've been superseded or whether that's just faded, I'm not sure. You've also got one black one. Experts will know what each one does, but I've got no idea, so I just replaced them all. Can't see anything obviously wrong. There's no build-up of dirt or gunge or metal in them. The only thing is the seals aren't protruding very much, so they're quite easy to pull out. They fell out almost. Whereas the new ones, you had to push them. You could feel the seals were better. So that's on now. It's bolted back in. All those T27s are done up. So next thing is I'm gonna have to fit the electronics back on the top of it, and then we'll think about putting it back in the car. Okay, so the electronic side is back on. A couple of things you've got to watch for is down here, just make sure you get that lug located in there, because that's to do with your gear shift. So just make sure that this part here is located in that slot, because that obviously needs to move that backwards and forwards. The other thing with the plug on the back here, you won't be able to push this up, this white tab up, unless that is pushed all the way home. So when you're putting it back together, if you're having trouble pushing that back up, don't force it. It will be because this isn't pushed in far enough. Okay, so when that's all the way in, that can go up and lock it back in position. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. You might want to use some silicone grease or gear oil or something around these seals, just to make sure that goes home. But you don't put that in till after this is fitted back up, so it's one of the last jobs. Okay, so the next thing that I'm changing are the sleeves or tubes. There's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. I've already changed that one, and you can see how it protrudes a bit further, because obviously it's a new seal. I've fitted the new seal up here, so that's good. I'm doing these one at a time, so as not to get them mixed up. You've got 2 short ones and 2 slightly longer ones, but they're different lengths. So just be careful. I'm using a pick to remove them. So there you go, like that. Quite easy to get out. Okay, so that's the unit back in now. Didn't have too many problems doing this. You do have to be a bit careful, because up here you do need to line the gear change up. Okay, so again, a bit like you did before with the plastic bit, you've got to line that. That actually is a connection to the lever inside the car. That works his way back there somehow. Electronic, no, not electronically. It does actually have a cable, doesn't it? Yeah, it's got a cable this side. So somehow or another that works that arm. So make sure you get that in okay. Obviously you've got to do up all the T30s this time. It's 10 in total, I think, including the 3 at the back here. So that's all okay. Again, when you push in the plastic plug adapter at the top, when it's all the way home, that will just push up nice and easy and lock in. If you're having any trouble and that won't push in, it's probably because you haven't got that sleeve in fully. So just keep an eye on that. So yeah, it's all tightened up, checked, triple checked. I've just got to put the sump back on now. Okay, so we've got the sump back up. Done all the T40s back up. There's lots of them to do, so be a bit careful. Don't over tighten these because you can pull the thread. It's only an aluminium housing in the side of the gearbox, so don't over tighten them, and go around and check them a couple of times. So we're going to be filling the gearbox. 2 stages, so we're going to do the first stage with it not running, so we'll just fill it up until it comes out of the hole, put the plug back in, start the engine up, let it get warm. I think about 40 degrees is recommended for the gearbox temperature, and then you fill it up again, and while it's running, fill it up again, put the plug back in, let it get to temperature, remove the plug, and you want a steady flow of fluid out of that hole with the gearbox all warm, and then that should level. You put the plug back in, and then yeah, we'll refit the exhaust, and that should be it. And then see how we get on. Clear the codes and do a road test. Okay, so that's the gearbox filled. I didn't film it because it was such a messy job, I just couldn't get my camera out. But took about 4 litres before it started leaking out. Then I put the plug back in, started up, run the engine, pulled the plug out again, and then it took probably about another 4 litres, I would say, before I started getting a constant run out of there, constant stream out of there. Then I'll put the plug back in. Obviously make sure on first start up you run it through all the gears, into up to 6th gear if you can, and into drive and into reverse. So now what we've got to do is get this exhaust back on and see how it drives. Okay guys, so I've been on first drive in the car. It's performing well actually, so there's definitely some changes to the performance. So when I put it into drive, it selects the gear a lot quicker. Also, I used to have an issue with it pulling up to roundabouts and junctions where it would initially want to pull away in second, but then kick down really quickly to first. Now it seems to select first on its own when it comes up to a junction, which is good. So yeah, just like smoother gear changes really, a bit more confident on what gear it's selecting as well at specific times, so it's good signs so far. Whether it's going to fix my other problem, I'm not going to say too much for a while. I'm going to give it probably 500 miles to 1,000 miles, and then I'll make another video with an update. But at the moment, keeping fingers crossed, everything seems to be going well. Just for anyone who wants to know, this is the fault code I was getting. Gear monitoring during 4th to 5th, implausible. Now, you could have any one of those fault codes. It could be 1st to 2nd, 5th to 6th, 3rd to 4th. I guess the solenoids do have some input on those fault codes, because you know they're obviously 4 gear changes, but then you've also got the clutches in the gearbox, which you can't access those without really removing it, sending it away for a specialist rebuild. So I'm going to delete this code for the moment completely. Hopefully we won't see that again. Also, while I'm here, I'm going to go into special functions and reset the adaptions for the gearbox, as you can see here, and that will just start a relearn procedure, because it will have learnt to the previous gear changes. So we'll reset the adaptions. Hopefully that'll make some difference as well. Okay, that's been successful, so that's good. So yeah, so we'll see how we go. I hope this has helped some of you. If any of you are interested in a 500 to 1,000 mile update, let me know and I will make that. And if you've got any questions, you need any assistance, anything I can help you with, then feel free to ask. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.